Hey guys, Murphy Snapper here. It's been a while since I've done a video. This was meant to be up probably about 3 weeks ago, but I had a couple of books delayed in the mail, and so I just kept putting it off, and next thing I knew, it had been a month. I was thinking about doing this in two parts, this book haul video. I was going to split it up with what I got from a second-hand bookshop that I like to go to, as well as then the second video being what I bought online. But I thought, it's been a long time since I've done something, so let's just do it all in one big video. I hope none of you mind, because I don't mind filming it. So let's begin. So first off, the couple of books I got from the second-hand bookshop, Blue Dragon Books, at the Blue Mountains here in New South Wales, Australia. Blue Mountains is a lovely area. This is the Circus of Dr. Lau. So I did a quick little video about a month ago picking my next read, and this was the one I got. By Charles G. Finney. So I've been struggling with reading this one. It's not my usual kind of book that I do read, and not having a lot of free time, so it hasn't always been what I go to first when I have free. It is interesting, and I am looking forward to sharing my thoughts on this one. So there should be a video up on this one, hopefully within a few weeks. Next off, I have Bolo by Keith Lama. Just a quick skim on the internet from what I know about this. They're about sentient tanks used in warfare in the future. I think they're a collection of short stories. So a quick look, sorry. So we've got there are short stories there. I just like the idea of sentient tanks. So I picked that up. I've got the Solarians by Norman Spinrad. I've seen a couple of the other guys show off this book on their videos. This isn't the same cover, but it was much cheaper than if I tried getting the cover everyone else had. And I quite like the yellow here with the red font anyway. And I always thought the goofy designs of the aliens was pretty cool. Bit like a weird fluffy bipedal bat. I couldn't help myself. I got a Batman book, Batman to Stalk a Spectre by Simon Hawke. So from what I did look up, this was part of a trilogy of novels in the early 90s. They did have one of the other three, but I pretty much tapped out all I had to spend, so I just got the one. But from what I understand, this is the best one of the three. So hopefully that's good. Then I have As the Curtain Falls by Robert Chilson, Adore Books Sci-Fi. This was another one of those, look, 90% of what I buy is cover alone, right? So this cover stood out to me. I like the red in this dying futuristic / ancient looking city. So that's another one. Okay, so as for covers, this one's a bit out there. This is Copernic's Rebellion by Leo A. Frankowski. Just quickly, I did look this up. So it's about two people that genetically engineer all sorts of stuff, and they come across some moral questions and what should be done, what shouldn't be done, And this thing here that is sitting on is a coffee table. So yeah, I just thought that sounded really interesting. Some of the Goodreads reviews were all over the place, as Goodreads always is, with very polarizing opinions. So I was sold. So this one, The Book of Paradox by Louise Cooper. I like the cover with the paint there, watercolors. Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Flies, and now The Book of Paradox. Fair enough. Hadn't actually read the back of this one. Interesting that it's put Lord of the Rings and Lord of the Flies together. So I wonder just what it would mean this book could be. And then this one, so I had bought all of these prepaid for them on their website, and then I picked this one up on a whim while I was in there. Rourke by Avram Davidson. I haven't read up much to do about this book. We'll just do a little read here. The Rourkes were giant nightmare spider beasts that talked, and they lived right in the middle of the Red Wing, which was the source of the medicine that mankind desperately needed, which is why the alcoholic guildsmen on Pier 2, home of the Rourkes and the Red Wing, always drank to dead rocks. Fair enough. I don't know, just figured it was pretty small. Why not pick it up? So next we have Cold War in a Country Garden by Lindsay Guttridge. So I found out about this one a while ago. I'd watched, showed my daughter Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and just thought, hey, wonder if there were any books that explored a similar concept. And this one came up, and I was happy when I saw this on Blue Dragon Books website. So basically, a man is the first guinea pig in a scientific program to be shrunk down, and he has to survive his garden as a test, I believe, to then take on Eastern Europe during the Cold War. So yeah, sounds like it could be a lot of fun, and I like the cover there with the giant ants. Now this one, The Path of Unreason by George D. Smith. I learned about this one watching, pretty sure it was Pulp Mortem. Forgive me if it was somebody else, sorry. So when I saw this on the website, I just had to have it. Figured, why not? They did, so why not me? Then I got Shield by Paul Anderson. I've read one Paul Anderson before, The War of the Winged Men, and I couldn't finish it. But from what I understand, it's part of some big interconnected series he has. And I believe this one isn't. So somebody has some high-tech weapon development known as the Shield. It's meant to be, almost impenetrable. And then everyone comes out to kill them. That's just, like the short version. I'm sure I left a lot out. But yeah, it sounded really interesting. This was one I tried to buy online a number of years ago. But the price was always way too much. And then Blue Dragon Books had this for a couple of bucks. So I figured, hey, I missed out last time. Let's get it this time. So these next four, these are the last four I got from Blue Dragon Books. And there were 4 books in this series, so I figured, hey, let's just get the whole series in one go. Some fantasy. And I figured, they look decent enough. So we have by Michelle Segara, Into the Darklands, the first book of the Sundered. I wasn't too keen on the cover of this one, but the covers of the other ones are what sold it to me. Second book, this is Children of the Blood. So some person waving some magic at some evil entity. made me think of D&D. I think that's why it caught my attention. We have Lady of Mercy, book 3. And then we have the final book, Chains of Darkness, Chains of Light. I haven't read anything about this at all. So, who knows? Could be horrible. I hope not. I am going to try and give the first one a go soon. But it's all just a matter of figuring out the order of what I read and when I read it. Alright, so these next lot were all online. They're books that I missed out on at bookshops and haven't been able to find again since. And me being impatient, decided, hey, let's just buy it online. So this next 6, they did have 4 of them when I went to Blue Dragon Books the first time. But when I went back, because I was really interested, they didn't have any of them from what I could see. And this is the General series by S.M. Sterling and David Drake. Again, I know very little. I try to not look up too much about books before I buy them. I might have a quick read of a blurb and maybe 1 or 2 reviews, but I try to not get into, the details of the book. I like to discover that as I can. But what stood out to me the first time, again, the covers. What do they call it? Embossed or something, when you can feel it, because it's kind of raised. And I thought, they're on giant war dogs. Pretty cool. So from what I looked up, I think there's a total of something like 12 or 14. But I got the first 6. So here we have The Hammer, book 2. We have The Anvil, book 3. So we've gone from space war dogs to space tank trains. Then we have book 4, The Steel. These all were published by Baen Books. Then we have book 5, The Sword. More tanks. And then this is actually book 6, The Reformer. So I wonder if maybe, I don't know, if he's standing so big, maybe, there was some progression there in the story and the characters, who knows. Me just talking words out my mouth. Alright. So this series I grabbed as well. Blue Dragon Books had a few of these, but when I went back, they didn't have them. So I was able to snag all of these with the 6 books of the journal. Very well priced, so I couldn't pass it up. So this is by S.M. Sterling, Marching Through Georgia. So it's got some controversy online about it. So slaves are used basically as an army to take over the world. Alternate world scenario and war and all that. And I just figured, you know what? I haven't read a lot of military sci-fi fiction, so why not just go with the whole set? I think I'm showing these in order of 1 to 5. This is Under the Yoke, The Stone Dogs, Drakon. So it's also known as the Drakas series. And then Drakas there. So yeah, I don't know. These sound really cool. Could be an interesting start to get into like the alt world history, sci-fi, military kind of genres. A few of them all mixed into one. Next up, I've got some classics here. You know what? Let's just show it. So I've got a couple of Tarzan books by Edgar Rice Burroughs. I've never read Tarzan. The only Tarzan actually I've ever seen or watched is Disney's. And so after watching Tarzan with my wife and daughter, I figured, hey, why not? Let's just get a few of them. And so there was 5? 6. I got the 6th one here. And I just grabbed them. Because why not? Actually, I did watch the old Tarzan spin-off cartoon series Disney used to have when I was a kid. So Tarzan, The Beast of Tarzan, different printing there, and publishing company. Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle. We have Tarzan and the Ant-Men. Tarzan the Untamed. This one's a little beaten up, but that's okay. I don't mind. Could be a story there. I wonder what, all the previous owners were like. Did they like the book? Did they hate the book? Did they carry it with them every day, or was it just ignored? Who knows? And then Tarzan and the Madman. I like the look at that one. Pretty cool cover. Okay, so next up, let's set those aside. We'll grab this big fat stack. So literally learnt about these ones by watching Pulp Mortem again. Pulp Mortem, sorry. Move these aside, and I grabbed a bunch of these. Again, very cheaply priced. I figured someone's just probably trying to get rid of them, and that's why they were so cheap. They are, what are they? Richard Blade books. Some guy from Earth, interdimensional time travel stuff, I guess. Some of these covers are pretty cool. Some are out there, weird, proportion stuff like that. But here we go. We have Richard Blade by Jeffrey Lord. Monster of the Maze, number 6. From what I read, these aren't very well received, but you know what? Maybe I need some trash every now and then. I love B-grade movies, so maybe B-grade books are a good way to go. So we have Empire of Blood, number 23. We have The Ruins of Kaldak, number 34. The Jewel of Tarn, or the Jewel of Tarn, who knows? Tarn, who knows? Yeah, that covers a bit suggestive. Moving on, we have the King of Zunga. Yeah, big muscle man, big versus giant monster. Here we go. We have the Temples of Ayakan. We have Champion of the Gods. We have Dimensional Horror. Here we go. Now he's wearing space pants. He's not in the jungle. We have the Mountains of Breaker. This was the one that I thought looked really just weird. Like just something's not right in his torso there. I believe Pulp Mortem, that was one of the ones he showed. And then the last one here, we have the Dragons of Anglor. Could be fun. Trash can be fun. So we'll see. Okay, so the last 5 were the latest to arrive in the mail. Impulse bought these ones because they're going pretty cheap by Australian standards. And they are... I got a couple of books of The Shadow. So we have The Wealth Seeker, Maxwell Grant. I think that was the pseudonym. Could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I do have one book of The Shadow already. And I do have two Shadow magazine reprints, which each collect 2 stories. I haven't read those ones yet. But yeah, I just thought, hey, let's get back into some of the pulp heroes. We have Chag, 1 star. These covers all look really cool, by the way. Then we have the Shadows Shadow. We have Grey Fist. And then we have Murder Trail. Sorry about that, just had some people walking through the house. So yeah, I think that was 47 books. Hopefully you could bring yourselves to stick around to watch the whole thing. I'm both excited and intimidated by all these books. Watching, having started watching a lot of these guys on YouTube, and it kind of reignited the spark in me to want to start reading again. I, of course, went all in, like I do with anything, hence my name, Movie Snapper. I was originally going to do a movie YouTube channel, but yeah, never got around to it. Was always too nervous and too harsh on myself, and never ended up doing it. And then I saw all the lovely people over on the BookTube corner that I watch, and I just didn't change the name and started my channel. I will eventually also talk about movies and reviews and thoughts of movies I watch. And so this will be both books and movies. And yeah, that's where the name came from. No cool story there, unfortunately. But yeah, this is that. These are those books that I've got. I am planning on a few more in the near future, but I will be slowing down my hoarding of books over the next 6 months, because I actually really want to focus on reading, and it's hard to keep reading if I keep buying more. And yeah, thank you everyone for sticking around, and I'll see you all soon.